Let's go. Let's go. Give the people what they want. Taurasi sloshed. Sorry, showtime with
You ready? Let's do it. Comfortable? Again?
Salud.
Back at it again. Let's go. What's in the cup?
Preconceptions cast more shadow than light. See only what you're told to see, and you'll miss so much of me.
Open the doorway, let it all rush in.
Convention hides my depth and dimension.
Alive and breathing,
So save your stereotypes, standards, and tiny boxes.
hearts are beating, world is free.
I am authentic, unapologetic, driven without doubt, unique on my own,
It's in her blood.
unstoppable together.
Selfish play for the finish.
There's no space we can't occupy, no promise we can't fulfill.
March Madness.
We seek redemption,
No! Leah Boston misses at the buzzer.
we have a legacy to honor.
The Connecticut Huskies will play for a national title.
And here, in plain sight, a fullest self, dreams laid bare, I am not scared to be seen.
Just imagine.
From monochrome to multidimensional, no longer defined by roles assigned.
It doesn't have to be pretty. It's about winning basketball games.
Projecting images of our
We
design.
might as well just prove everybody wrong and prove ourselves right.
We are the source of our own light.
We're competing for a national championship. One goal for everyone.
Watch us shine.
There's no limit.
This is what we stuck together for. Something on the other side for us.
Whatever you can imagine.
It's all worth it.
Wow. Again, I want to play. This just makes me want to play. But we're back. The Bert Taurasi Show, BTS in the house. We're on ESPN2 today, so we must have done something right the other day.
This is the deuce.
This is the deuce.
This is what I live for.
I think we need to take a look, see what everybody missed from the other night to maybe mentally prepare them for what they might see here.
Or put a blindfold on.
One or the other. One
So
or the
let's
other.
get it now that we're comfy. Salud. So are you going to declare for the WNBA draft tonight or what?
That's funny.
Haley, some favorite player just dropping F-bombs on TV. I've never even done that.
We needed some balance, so we brought you in.
Well, that's a big mistake.
Well, you could have just literally been an all-star. Forget six man of the year. Like, what's next for you?
Yeah, burn that trophy. I'm trying to take people's heads right now.
You starting to get saucy. You trying to get spicy. I like
the
to look
Balenciaga
good.
pants.
Oh yeah.
Not needed.
I'm glad you said it. Oh, you're not gonna give her a techno for that, Maj? Whatever your name is.
We love you, man. We thank you. Can we get a anything is possible before you go? Anything is possible?
Anything is possible!
My brain's got to go with Bill Walton now.
Diana, Sue, have I crashed a UConn party here?
They're not breaking any records tonight. No.
Somebody needs to shoot more threes. Just shoot more threes the whole game. Why not?
You're so greedy,
man,
Stuart.
5.
Let someone else win something.
Everyone's probably like, I'm not going against NECA.
I was pounding beers and cheeseburgers in college at Baby Fat Ballers. Oh,
Baylor does a claw thing.
Baylor.
Yeah.
They
We
left.
don't have one.
They left that in the Sweet 16, didn't they?
Yeah. Hold that thought, Bill. We're going to break, and we'll be right back.
Where we gotta go? Where's Snoop Dogg?
Where is Snoop Dogg?
Bill, we are asking the same question today.
We want to know where Snoop Dogg is,
If
too.
you find him, Bill, let him know.
Let us know.
We're
But
looking for him.
even though we don't have Snoop right now, we do have an amazing guest list for today. I'm very excited about this one. Should we tease it a little bit?
Give him the tease.
We got LeBron James coming. Doris Burke, DB's in the house. Megan Rapinoe will be on set with us. I'm very excited about that as well. I mean, we got good guests, and then we might talk a little basketball too.
We might watch the game today because it's important.
This is a big one. All right, I think it's going to be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to really good 4 quarters. Who you got?
South Carolina. Who do you got?
Welcome back to the BTS show. We're here. It's the final, the moment all these players have worked so hard for. They probably did not sleep last night. Did you sleep the night before the final?
Oh, absolutely not. You're ready to play. You're nervous.
Very nervous. I remember an alarm went off the night before one of the finals, like a smoke alarm, some sort of fire alarm, woke us all up. Nightmare. So hopefully that happened to none of these players.
Fans, please rise at Fable and remove your hats to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. Tonight, the flag is displayed on the court, is being held by women community leaders from Minnesota, and the colors are being presented by the University of Minnesota ROTC Joint Service Color Guard. And now, please join recording artist Dana Cohen in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Dana Cohen.
All right, fans, this is not a drill. It's your last chance. Get yourself.
I think we've got some starting lineups coming up. I'm trying to think of what it felt like 20 years ago. It's a long time.
Is that what it was? 2 decades?
I mean, my senior year's is a little. My senior's 20
I'm creeping on 2 decades
years
too.
ago. Sheesh.
I think this is when it really gets serious, right? This is when individually you really get into that mindset that you need to be really good tonight. And you're thinking about all these things, and then just all of a sudden they all go away.
I don't know how they're going to stop Aaliyah. I wonder what the game plan is.
It's going to be tough. I mean, you probably double team her, but she gets so much stuff just off offensive rebounds. And I think Coach said it early. The ball finds her wherever she is. She has great basketball karma.
Yeah,
you know,
does.
she's always in the right spot at the right time. So it's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough. I think for the Connecticut side, they have to find a way to limit her touches, which is going to be really difficult, like you just said. And I think Paige has to ball out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's obvious, but
I mean, we talked about it in the semifinal games, but this game, even more importantly, Paige has got to play well. Kristen Williams has got to play well. AZ Fudd has to get involved early. And on the flip side, South Carolina needs to knock down shots, or they're going to be seeing a lot of 5 blue.
a lot of 5 blue.
A lot of 5 blue.
A lot of 5 blue. Paige's jumper was working the other night.
And she's always so great when she's attacking the hoop. And you can just see her getting a little bit more healthy as the days go on.
Right.
These things she wasn't doing this 2 weeks ago, and you can just see she's getting a little bit more comfortable with her body, and she's doing things like that.
Yeah. What's fascinating to me about Paige, she wants to be a facilitator. I think that's like her natural, right? Like she wants to get people involved, and she'll start to learn. The only way to do that well is to be aggressive and look for your shot.
Because I think naturally she's more of a scorer than she's, trying to be right now. Olivia's got to have a big night tonight. I mean, talk about the biggest challenge in the building. You're not going to stop Aaliyah Boston, but can you make it really hard for her? Can you limit her?
Yeah.
And make her do things that she's not comfortable doing? That's going to be hard.
So generally speaking, when you play against a team that has like a dominant player, whether it's a post or guard, do you subscribe to the, hey, listen, they're going to get their 20, so don't let anybody else go off, or we have to limit, not let them get their 20?
I go back and forth depending on the supporting cast, but we talked about it earlier. Can they get Boston into foul trouble?
Yeah.
If she's in foul trouble, she can't be aggressive. She's not on the court. Can they figure out a way to do that? And in college basketball, I think they have a hard time targeting and pinpointing matchups that can help them in that way.
They don't approach the game that way.
No.
I don't think.
Which is probably something they won't do tonight either.
Right, like if this was the WNBA, we would be trying to find any weakness Aaliyah Boston had, whatever that was.
And what would that be?
And we would exploit it. I think, obviously in the WNBA, we're talking about different athletes, but even against Connecticut, I think I'd be putting her in pick and rolls as much as possible.
Absolutely, you'd bring her up and put her in ball screens and make her guard it time after time in different situations and different. But this is what the kid does, though. She just affects the game on every end.
You made a really good point. The things she does, you can't stop because it's not an offense they're running. She just has a knack for being in those right places at the right time. It's tough.
And it's like, I'm sure the same conversation we're having, Coach Arima had those conversations about Aaliyah. The same conversation Don Staley's having about Paige. And now,
so what do you think that conversation is about Paige? Like
Paige?
What's Don doing in their practice?
You know what they're going to do to Paige. They're going to be in her pocket all night, make her uncomfortable.
And they have the defenders to do it.
Absolutely. I think the one mistake NC State made, they went underneath every single screen. And when you have a player like Paige, the minute she gets comfortable,
it's over.
Everything becomes very easy. And, when you muck it up and you make it hard,
I felt that way when they played earlier in the season. I forget where they were, the Bahamas. Yeah. And South Carolina beat Connecticut. That felt like South Carolina just physically outmatched Connecticut, just imposed that physicality, and Connecticut didn't know what to do with it.
Well, and physicality is going to go both ways. Obviously, South Carolina does it just with brute force, and then Connecticut has to find a way to get some pace in the game to wear them out. And
I know, that's my thing. So I feel like people downplay that a lot. I've said this during the WNBA season. Now, like, when you play with pace, it's the same as being physical. Yeah. You are wearing teams out in the exact same way.
Absolutely.
I know. I don't think it gets talked about enough or focused on enough.
It's a different kind of activity that you have to put up with for 40 minutes.
It's like when I used to, there'd be a couple days a season, maybe a year, where at Connecticut, when we would do guards posts, every now and then we would switch it, and the guards would do the post workout. Yeah. You would hit me with that pad once, exhausted. It's a different, but the post players, the minute they had to run, come off, make a move, go get a layup, exhausted.
The conditioning's different, right? Your body's just, conditioned to something different. Oh, look at the big handshake right here. There they are.
Hey, Dawn, I like the green. I see you.
Green for the money.
I like the green.
Gold for the honeys.
We like to look rich. We like to look rich. The coaches are fitted. The teams are ready. We'll be back. Start this game off. All right, back on the BTS show here on ESPN2 in the lovely Minnesota. It was raining, snowing today. That was a little alarming. I was alarmed by that. I don't know about you. Hopefully, I said rain, so I'm going to work with that. Hopefully they make it rain tonight and we see a good performance.
It would be nice. I'm looking for a high-scoring game. Hopefully that first game for both of them, they got the nerves out. I think you could see every team was a little on edge of how to come out. And we always say these games, you can't just be out there. You have to grab them by the neck. And like Don said, both teams are undefeated in national championship games. Undefeated.
That was, listen, That was a pretty good clapback, because I'm sure some reporter asked her.
Absolutely.
Right, like, oh, UConn, they're 11-0 in national championship games. Like, how do you feel about that? And she came with the, well, I'm undefeated too.
She is. She's 1-0.
She's 1-0.
And actually, Don said something the other night, like, it doesn't have to be pretty. Just win the game.
Yes.
And I think sometimes you forget when you played in these games. That's why I don't like to watch them. Like, I just want to think of them, oh, we won the national championship. We were so good.
Oh, yeah, watch our games?
Yeah, I'm like,
no.
I
remember we did once?
Yeah, we were terrible.
Oh, my God.
I was like, we won a
so
championship?
bad.
Like, I couldn't even dribble.
That's an amazing start for South Carolina. If they're hitting that shot, so that's what happens when a player hits one early, right? There's two ways to think of it.
Yeah.
One, you're like, all right, you hope they hit it early because then they're going to take it more. So if it's a player, you're okay shooting. But then if they hit it early, they continue to hit it, it's going to change how Connecticut is able to help off of players to really do what they want to do, which is stop Aaliyah Boston.
And obviously we talk about Paige a lot, and we talk about, AZ a lot, but I think this is a game where Kristen Williams' athleticism for UConn has to stand out. She has to find a way to play in transition, play fast, play off the rip, because if you let South Carolina get set, should I preach? We'll preach a little later about the length.
Not ready for that yet?
No.
We got to get warmed up.
This is a good sign. We, the UConn Huskies, need Edwards to play well.
Yes. Are we seeing a little? Yep, we're seeing some 5 blue.
Yeah.
We're really excited about our guest. He is the king, literally, of the basketball court, but also the king of the fits. We see you, LeBron. We wanted to show you a little something ourselves. We wanted to get your approval. We know that you're trying to build that bigger table. We wanted to know if there was room for some solo cups.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when y'all bring in the cups. Absolutely.
LeBron James, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you. We're going to get started with a little shout out to Love Is. Megan and I have partnered with you and Uninterrupted to create Love Is. It's a mission-driven brand that empowers the queer community through action. We've partnered with trans and non-binary folks and artist Hey Kid to design a dope hoodie and campaign that defends trans rights. It launched earlier this week. Hoodie got sold out quick.
I didn't even get one.
Oh, you got one. It's in the mail. Don't worry.
Quick.
Don't worry. But it does give back to amazing organizations. So LeBron, talk to us about why you wanted to partner with Love Is and build it out.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you all having me on the show, to be with two of the biggest queens in the world where we have today. Appreciate that. So, I think, we've been working with yourself, Sue, and Megan for almost 3 years now in this campaign. And, us at Uninterrupted, we always listen to the voice of the athlete and to hear, what you guys were driven about, what you guys were passionate about. It meant so much sense to us about, treating people for who they are, and creating more love and creating more peace, in this world. And that's what we need. I mean, everyone gets so caught up and want to talk about all the negative things that we have going on in the world. But until we can all come together and just talk about love and happiness and smile more and be loving to whoever you are, no matter what you believe in and everything that goes with that, then we can never see a change. But, for us to have this campaign with Love Is, with yourself and Megan and everybody that's supporting now, it made so much sense to us at Uninterrupted, and we're happy to be on, like I said, year 3 with you guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, if you guys didn't know, LeBron and I collaborated on Space Jam 2 very closely.
Hey, I'm in the background.
And Sue's in the background.
I'm in the background.
Draymond's still mad he didn't make it. He didn't make the cut. I'm still a little angry we didn't get an Oscar.
Oh, for sure. We definitely deserve the
next
Oscar.
year, we're going to commercial.
Yeah, next year.
We'll be back with you in a minute. Back on the Bird and Taurasi show, we got our boy LeBron with us. D, I know you've been aching to ask this question.
Yes. LeBron, so you obviously didn't go to college, which was a very smart move. If I had the opportunity to not go to college, I'm sure I would have done the same thing. You can't say Ohio State. What college would you have gone to?
You said I can't say Ohio State?
You can't, because we know you're a Buckeye through and through. But in a different world, where would you have gone?
In a different world, I probably would have gone between, and this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. It would have been between Duke and North Carolina.
There it is.
Oh, I
It
like
would have been
it.
between those
Did
two.
college
Yeah, if it
coaches, did they even call you? Like, did they even send you letters?
They did my freshman
Or
and
they like,
sophomore year. Once my junior year started, too, it was they was like, this guy's never going to touch the face of a campus.
They got the hint early.
Yeah, they're like, let me save my my phone bill, because at that time, that's hilarious. So LeBron, we've got UConn, we've got South Carolina. Give us your thoughts.
Well, first of all, we got two prestige and high, successful, colleges right now going at it. I think it's going to be between, you got the guard play, at UConn, and then you got all the length at South Carolina. So it's who can, adjust throughout the game. South Carolina, they so big, they so athletic at their forwards and center positions. But then you got Paige and Z, doing a lot of work on the perimeter, and a lot of other girls with the UConn bunch. So it's size versus the quickness. So we're gonna see which one prevails. But you got two great programs, that's for sure.
It's crazy because we obviously play in the professional ranks, and in these big moments, we're dealing with adults. And when you're in the locker room, you're like, oh, that dude doesn't have it tonight. These kids are 18 and 19 on this stage. Like, who knows what's going to happen tonight? They don't even know.
I mean, they don't even know, and there's so much pressure on them, man. And we all remember when we were 17, 18, 19 years old, and all the pressure that we had on us. I mean, either I was a rookie in the NBA and you guys were, in a Final Four, which y'all did a lot at UConn when y'all was backcourt mates. And it's just so much pressure put on these collegiate athletes and these young kids that people don't understand. And they have to go out and produce. But, more importantly, listen, you go out, you play hard, you do everything you can to try to get the win. And, if you said you play hard, then you can sleep better at night. You definitely be sad if you don't win, because we all work to want to win. And that's what it's all about. But listen, give it all that you got, and everybody be proud of you.
Absolutely. LeBron, we got another break. All these breaks, all these timeouts. But we will be back in a minute.
Y'all not gonna let me go just yet. Can we got one more segment?
Oh. Absolutely not letting you go.
No.
Not letting you go, but we will be right back.
I'm here.
Back with the Bird and Taurasi show, back with the king himself. We talked a little bit about if you were to go to college, where have you gone? But with the NIL being a thing now, and I know that's something you did on the shop with Governor Newsom, D was there as well. Do you think that would have changed anything for you, being able to do both?
Yeah, I think so. Because I was in a situation where just financially, myself and my mom, we were just like, struggle to say the least. So, at that point in time, I knew right away that me going to the NBA would change my mom's life forever, change my life forever. So, with the NIL thing going on now, it would have gave me something to think about, because I actually wanted to step on a campus. I wanted to be a part of an alum and be a part of March Madness and see how much fun I could have with that. But, my mom trumped all of that, and getting my mom a better situation and put my mom in a nice house with nice grass and things of that nature and a pantry. That trumped everything. So that's what it came down to.
That's crazy. Imagine LeBron and March Madness.
It would have been, and it's funny because we did this 3 years ago, and at the time it was still very early, and there was a lot of pushback. Like, people just did not like it. Obviously, the NCAA was not on board, as we know. And now this might actually save them in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, people are always going to, give you the side eye or think you're ruffling feathers when you do something that's new and something that's out of the box or something that nobody is thinking of. It's the same thing when, Sue and Megan brought that to us at Uninterrupted with these hoodies and wanted to speak about what they were passionate about. And the first year that we came out with this hoodie, everybody was like, okay, should they be doing this? Absolutely. And now everyone wants to be on board with it. So, when we had that shop interview with Governor Newsom, and you was on there, like you said, DT, we knew we was going to ruffle feathers. We had the O'Bannon brothers on there as well. Ed O'Bannon was on there too. He was one of the guys that was part of that whole thing of like people controlling their name and likenesses. And for us to be able to see it 3 years later and see the change in all these student athletes and so many people being able to, see reward off of their name, I think it's only right.
I agree. You brought up, wanting to step onto a college campus and never actually getting that. Do you feel like when we were at the Olympics and we were in the Village, did you get like a taste of what a college campus might have felt like?
I think I did.
Because we're going to go into some Olympic talk here.
No, listen. I really believe that I did, and that's part of the reason why I stayed my ass in there so long. I didn't want to leave. I was there, representing the United States of America, but I was there, oh my God, this is my college experience. Just seeing all these other countries all over the world. We're there to play ball. We got swimmers there. We got track and field there. We got so many different sporting events, but you're there you're representing your school, your program, and that's what we were doing, obviously.
So you played with under Coach K for one of those teams. What is your best memory of Coach K? Since you wanted to go to UNC so bad.
And I know that's the last thing Coach K wanted to hear last night, and I hated to see my guy take that L last night in the Final Four. But some of my biggest fondest memories of Coach K was just he did not shy away from getting on our butts. It was always that narrative college coaches can't coach NBA guys. They won't listen to college coaches. From day one, Coach K was on our butts from day one. This is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to defend the world after we've lost the world championship. We came, in third in the 2004 Olympics. The world already are side-eyeing us. They don't think we can become a team. They don't think we can sacrifice for one another. And, I come from West Point, where it's nothing but sacrifice. And we bought into that right away. And he looked us in our eye with that determination. And we was like, oh, yeah, he's the guy. We respected that every single day.
Yeah, I think we all felt a difference, in all of you guys, when Coach K came around versus the Athens Olympics, which I'm going to bring us back there for a second and talk. I mean, we were all we were all the young bucks.
Yeah, we were all the rookies.
We were the rookies.
We were all the rookies.
And I think all of our fondest memories probably come from G32.
Oh, it's not even a question.
Shout out.
It's not even a question.
Not even. Everyone wants to talk about gold medals, and we're like, no, G32. What are you talking about? That's the only thing I remember.
G32 is the only thing that saved us from jumping overboard on the Queen Mary.
Yeah, it's so true.
That's it. If it wasn't for G32, I would have jumped overboard and probably drowned in the water outside the Queen Mary if it wasn't for G32.
It's been well documented, but for those that don't know, G32 was the bar, club, lounge, whatever we wanted it to be that night, it was. And that was the
every
one.
night.
Every night.
It was a different night.
Yeah, and what people also got to realize,
Queen Mary too.
We made our own audience every night. There was nobody there besides who we wanted to be there, which was just us. And we had a great time every night.
We did. Those are some of my fondest memories. It did get good though when we got to China, Beijing. They had that's when the player lounge started. They would do that player only lounge. Some amazing memories.
Absolutely.
I remember you losing in cards.
To who?
Well, you were playing with Carlos Boozer's money or Jason Kidd's money?
No, I lost Jay Kidd's money.
Yeah,
he mentioned
it. Jay Kidd's money.
Jay Kidd's money. Jay Kidd's making
Jay
enough
Kidd,
money
you
now.
hear this? Yeah.
Jay Kidd's doing his thing.
To this. We got to get your money back, Jay Kidd, some way, somehow.
Jay Kidd's doing his thing right now.
D, you blew that money fast.
I mean, it was like one hand, 20 grand. I'm like, these guys are just jaded, man. You're talking about a pantry. Just get out of here.
Well, that was several years later.
That was definitely the best player lounge.
Yes,
for sure.
True.
No question about it.
That is true.
No question.
I mean, and then you talk about London. It was just amazing when you think about the people on those teams, on both teams, like legends of the game. And obviously we got to spend a lot of time with Kobe there, and and you think back on those times, and those are some of my fondest memories for sure.
Yeah, so LeBron, obviously I'm sure you enjoyed all three Olympic experiences, so I'm not trying to ask you to pick your favorite kid here, but when you look back, in those three different experiences, which team would have been the best?
Wow, I'm definitely gonna say the Redeem team. That team in 08. It was the first year that Kobe decided to play on Team USA, And then we had so much built up, anger, myself, Carmelo, CP3, D Wade, from the losses that we had, not only in the 04 Olympics, but also in the World Championships in Korea. So, in Japan. So we were just like, we had so much built up anger, but at the same time, we had so much that we wanted to give to, Team USA and to basketball in general on reclaiming what we all believe is our sport. So, 08 was definitely the better team of all the three teams. And the only wild card is that in 2012, we added a skinny 7-foot sniper by the name of Kevin Durant. So that would be the only thing that I can say.
That'd be the only one to tip it.
I think some of the viewers have heard of that guy. We got that guy, and our team became even more dangerous. So, but the 08 team was, we just had so much that we had to prove, and that's what it came down to.
Yeah. LeBron, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was a pleasure. We always have an amazing time when we hang out with you. So cheers.
Listen, Sue, DT,
good luck the rest of your season.
You always got me.
Thank you.
Always got me. You're welcome.
The Bird and Taurasi Show is presented by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Chances of me watching it are less than zero. When you've been around those two as long as I have, I really, truly have no interest in hearing anything they have to say on any topic, especially me. But I'm sure they were funny as hell. And I'm sure whatever iced tea they were drinking didn't come from the store.
Very funny. Something tells me he actually wants to come on the show, and we know this because we have a very special in-game exclusive interview, one of its kind. Coach Auriemma, welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
This guy does it all.
For joining us. This is amazing. We got some questions for you.
We got a couple questions. I've been hearing a lot that Paige has the ultra green light. Thinking back on it, do you think 100%. You should give Sue and I the green light? 100%.
Knew it.
I knew it.
All right, Coach.
You regretted it.
Elite Eight. You're up 3 against NC State. 6 seconds. Should you have fouled?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what we thought too,
right?
Yeah,
we thought that.
I mean, isn't it incredible the times we live in? These kids are actually making more money than you. Like, what do you think about that?
100%.
Can you hear me, Coach? So
we thought so.
We always knew you were on our side.
Yeah. Coach, we know you're busy. It's 22-8, so I can only imagine what you're thinking right now. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time. Good luck out there.
Good luck, Coach.
I mean, 22-8?
I mean, think about him being in this situation and coming on this broadcast, on
I
this
know.
show. I mean, it just shows you how versatile Coach has been throughout the years. And, he can multitask, so he's going to have to multitask in this game because there's a lot of things. Well, look at here. Look at here. Coach is just a star.
He's everywhere, and I'm not joking. I really feel like I've seen him carry his bag that way.
I think
I've got that one leather joint.
Yeah, I've seen him in that leather belt too.
I don't know about the bow tie, but he could probably add that.
I don't know, but Sue, it's 22-18 right now, South Carolina. All the things that we thought were going to happen is creeping into the game where UConn is having a hard time scoring the basketball, obviously. And, I mean, South Carolina is just playing really tough basketball. On cue.
Oh, she just pulled out the bow and
the
arrow.
Wes Matthews?
Is there Jamal Murray?
Wes Matthews.
Okay. Jamal Murray, too.
Wes Matthews was the OG.
Listen, I like Wes Matthews, too.
But he was the OG.
But it's Jamal Murray.
No, it's Wes Matthews in Portland, for sure.
Anyways, you're right about South Carolina.
Yeah.
They are physically dominating this game. Paige is going to have to get going, but they're setting the pace. They're setting the tempo. They're setting the physicality. Oh, she thought about it. And then she probably thought about Dawn. We got a Vina on Aaliyah.
And, it's the same advantage we thought we had when Westbrook was playing the 4. is all of a sudden now a glaring weakness against this team as she gets an offensive rebound and puts it back. I mean, basketball really is a card game, and sometimes you're looking for cards that aren't in the deck.
Yeah, this is, we're staying, I guess, kind of sort of close, but no, I think if you're Dawn Staley right now, you're happy with your team. Not only are you hitting outside shots, like you just mentioned, they got that O board, and that's really where I think they can take advantage of Connecticut. Just crashing those O boards, which is something they do. Man, she's on fire.
Well, we said this earlier. If you're going to double Aaliyah and they're making threes,
it's impossible.
It's going to be a very hard night. And here we go, Paige attacking the basket. And she's going to have to force the issue a little bit more, get in the paint.
Man, this is where they kill you.
And this is where you have to go. You have to score in this phase of the game against South Carolina.
So there's someone whose opinion I feel like we can get on this. She's going to know exactly what Connecticut needs to do.
Absolutely.
Please welcome to the show, DB Doris Burke. Welcome, DB. It's great to see you.
What's happening, you two? You did something today that I could not do, and that's have LeBron James on a show I was working.
Oh, that's pop.
It's a G32 thing. It's a G32
it's a bond that we will share forever.
Yes. But Doris, you have covered the women's game. This very moment you have covered. Do you have any stories off the top of your head from your Final Fours that you can remember that have stuck out?
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you a Diana Taurasi shot that goes down as one of my favorite all-time shots in a pressure moment. Listen, I can't help it, right? I like when I was accused of being UConn biased when I covered the Final Four, either as a reporter or an analyst.
That's what they're saying about us.
That's common theme here.
I said they won like 9 championships in the 11 years I covered them. What do you want me to say? UConn sucked? Like, no shot. But one of my favorite, Dee, I want to know if you remember this shot. You're playing in Texas in a national semifinal. And just like we're seeing tonight, you were a little bit physically outmatched. If you remember that game, Sue's gone, that crew is gone. You find yourself on the right baseline with balls in your left hand. Remember the shot? About 8 to 12 feet?
Yep.
That's a hell of a shot.
It was kind of a little bit behind the backboard.
Yeah, tell the people what happened.
It looked like a Larry Legend shot. It was one of those things where you just got to make a play and it just works out. And it's one of those moments that kind of, we were down 12 that whole game. We weren't playing well, very similar to this game. And there's those little moments that can change momentum. So we're going to need a little bit more of those moments tonight if Connecticut's going to make a run. Because this South Carolina team, Doris, is good. Like, this is a really, really good team.
Yeah, look at this. They're just killing them on the offensive board. Sometimes I feel like South Carolina's best offense is second shot. And, obviously it's hard. And here's what you have to do, right? It's rare against a South Carolina team to get easy shots. And when you get them, you got to make them. And the other thing you can't do is you can't turn it over. Like, your execution has got to be precise. It's got to be on point if you're the Huskies. But, I give this team a lot of credit. The other show was talking pregame, you guys, about sort of how this season looked for the Huskies in November and December, level of frustration, who was out. I mean, it's pretty incredible, don't you think, that they've arrived at this point, at this moment? I thought Stanford was going to win, to be honest with you. If you were going to ask me who was going to win that Stanford-UConn game, I would have picked Stanford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sue had Stanford, too.
That's a lie. But you know who did? Brianna Stewart had Stanford.
Yes, and Paige told her about it.
And she sure got a lot of text messages after that became public.
And I believe, Doris, tonight I was in my hotel room watching my beloved Lakers, and you picked South Carolina, so look at you.
I did.
Oh, she picked them publicly. It's a good pick.
I did.
It's hard to go against it, especially right now.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you I've caught, just pockets of women's college basketball, halves here and there. I love that Stanford team. I thought they were fun to watch. I thought they were deep. I like Cameron Brink's skills in the post. Obviously, we know they're really well coached. So I thought they had a good shot at repeating. So I give the Huskies a ton of credit. But I'll tell you what this is making me feel like right now, right? Because I covered you guys from your freshman year all the way through. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, oh my God, all three of us are getting so old at this point. It's ridiculous.
Doris, look at us now.
Look at us now.
You're doing primetime ABC. We have a show. Life is good. L'chaim.
But Doris, your voice is the soundtrack to our college years.
Absolutely.
WNBA as well. But college, it hits a little different. And you're literally the soundtrack. They actually, the Big East game where we played Notre Dame, I hit the game-winning shot. Like, that's your voice. Big time.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
So you've played such a huge role. We got to go to break. You know how this goes. But we will be back in a minute or so. Thank you so much for being here. We got Doris on the other side, guys. Stick around. Welcome back to the show. The one player that has stood out the most today, Destiny Henderson. I mean, her name's kind of fitting right now. A player that I think you would have given these shots to earlier in the tournament is just stepping up big right now.
Double Henny in the cup is ice cold right now. I mean, and she's kind of the unsung hero of this team. She knows the moments. She lays low for a lot of games where she knows she has to facilitate and just make sure she's getting people involved. But every big game I've watched this year, she comes up with these little moments, these little 2-minute spans where she makes the difference. And not only is she hitting shots, she's on Paige. She's bodying Paige, and that's the one thing that we talked about. You got to body Paige. You got to be physical against her. You got to make her uncomfortable, and she's done that.
She has, and this is when I feel like if you're Connecticut, do you want to get Paige off the ball, give her a breather, don't have her bring it up, have to handle all that pressure. That's what I would be thinking. And we've talked about Destiny. She's been the MVP in this game as of right now. Doris, who is your MVP right now for the NBA?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Sue. I have had all three of those guys at one point or another as my MVP. So Giannis has clearly closed the gap. Embiid, when you watch the eye test of Embiid, he's fluid, he's smooth, his ability to handle doubles and think the game. I'm basically stalling to tell you that vote is due on the last Friday of the season at midnight, or maybe it's the last. And I'm not joking. I'm not copping out here. I will get texts and calls from the league basically saying you've got to get your vote in, and here's why. And you guys are professionals, and so you would understand this. Our votes as the media basically impact these guys' contracts, which means tens of millions of dollars based on votes for all NBA teams. Think about Jason Tatum this year. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm going to just tell you this, you two. I lose sleep over it. It is legacy, it's money, it's pride, it's competitiveness. I think if you pressed me today, Sue, and I had to vote, I don't have to. Earlier today, I would have said Nikola Jokic. And then Embiid went off tonight. And all three guys are having historically great seasons. The answer is, I don't know, and you can check back with me when I got to get my vote in.
So there's this one player that is doing some special things in the desert by the name of Devin Booker.
Yes, he is.
And this is always the interesting question about the MVP, and we have it a lot about the WNBA, about the NBA, is how much do we impact winning on the award? And, when you pair that with the numbers he's putting up and just the way he's played, even with Chris out for long stretches, with DeAndre out, and I think you can say the same argument with Jason. He's putting these huge numbers and his team's winning. How do you balance that, when you have the fate of these guys in your vote and you impact their lives so incredibly?
I just had this conversation with Devin Booker, D, and he said, I said exactly what I said to you guys about what's at stake in the vote and how it keeps me up at night. And I said, there's money at stake. And he just looked at me and goes, lots of money. Listen, he's a lock for first. He's a lock for first team for me, like lock. Somebody on a 62 right now, 62 win season is going to make All NBA. In fact, I want to tell you the truth. I made a mistake earlier this year. We get to vote for the All-Star starters. I knew he and Chris Paul would be on the All-Star team, and I copped out and used that as a reason. And that's ridiculous. He had earned the right. They were 10-4 without Chris Paul, and his numbers, like, he was north of 30 points. He's been brilliant, D. Your point is well taken. I don't know if he finishes top 5. That's how competitive that MVP vote is. But it's hard. It's no joke. Like, I remember stressing about it voting for all WNBA teams. I stress about it now.
Well, the game,
and you too.
Connecticut's in
you
a couple.
got your solo cups. I'm not letting you down here with my
What you got, DB? What you got, DB?
Come on now. OG's
Cheers.
in the house.
We love it. We love it. So Connecticut's cut it now to 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
So we're inching in. Bringing it back to the women's game for a second.
Can I ask you guys a question who've been in this moment or have been in these kinds of situations? Because I think you can speak to it better than me. So they start out so tough, and now they've made their run. Like, when you battle up, how important is this to get it to, even 2-possession game here at the half? And how much does that take out of you sort of pushing it back to this spot?
Well, it's interesting you say that because we've all been in those games where you're down, you make that push, you get it close, and what happens? You run out of steam, you run out of energy, the other team picks it up. So that's always the challenge because it always happens. And I just like to, when I'm on my teams, I like to break it down and kind of simplify. And it's just, all right, we've actually talked about this in the semifinal games. All right, it's a 7-point game. There's 54 seconds. This is a little different of a scenario. Let's say there's a couple minutes. You might say what you just said, DB, like, all right, guys, we've played like crap. They haven't even seen us yet. All we have to do is cut it to 5 with a couple minutes left, and then what happens? They get tight. They get nervous, and that's what you want to do. You want to put that team in a position where they're on their heels.
Yeah, I mean, and going into halftime, this last minute, 2 minutes, it's huge. There was a Final Four we played in.
Yes, there was.
We were up 18 against Notre Dame in the semifinal game, and Alicia Ratai hits a three
in my face
to cut it to 15, which for some reason just demoralizes, still up 15. And I think Coach had something to do with it because he harped on it for so long in the halftime.
He did.
And then they came out and beat us. So, UConn's feeling really good right now. And you can tell they're getting a little bit more scrappy. And on the flip side, start getting tight.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm telling my team all the time. Put that pressure right back on them. Because when you're trying to hold on to a lead, what happens to you? You start managing the clock. You start thinking a little more. Maybe you have a fast break, but you pull it out because you're not sure. And that's when you know you have a team on, not necessarily on the ropes, but you have a team in a position where you can come back. It's a great question because it always happens.
It always does. And I thought Dee's point earlier, guys, about, just Paige have to start being a little bit more aggressive. The best players, right, when a good defensive team makes you beat them one-on-one, so Paige makes that great move, boom, bucket, then all of a sudden, it's like, to me, when Diana was in her final year, if she started to make shots, everybody else could just go, whew, okay, our girl's cooking tonight, right?
Yeah. And that's why I wanted the green light.
Dee doesn't think her light was green enough. I feel like your light was pretty green, though.
Yeah, I got held back in a lot of ways in college for a lot of reasons.
Oh, tell us.
It's almost halftime.
Oh, you don't want to share any of those thoughts?
It's almost halftime.
No, there's 15 seconds.
That's unfortunate. This is an important possession right here.
Oh, is it? You want to talk us through it?
Well, I would like to get, like you said, Paige off the ball a little bit, this high pick and roll. And there she comes off a double stagger. And this is tough in college. A kid that hasn't probably touched the floor, in the last couple games, and you come in, you're nervous. So that hurts a little bit going into the half.
But that's what South Carolina was going to do. It was going to put a lot of pressure on the Connecticut post players to stay in the game, right? Like not get into foul trouble. But she just creates those types of mismatches and makes it really hard. All right, Doris, we appreciate you coming on so much. Always a pleasure to chat.
So
Come back anytime.
out. Hey, have a great telecast. You all are knocking it dead. It was so fun. I love covering the gold, both college and professional.
Thank you, DB.
We love you, DB. Go Friars.
Love
Go
you.
Friars.
Yeah, baby.
All right, fans, we'll be staying here for the AT&T 5G halftime report at the end of the quarter. Megan Rapinoe is mic'd up and ready. She joins the show. We answer your questions using hashtag BTSWFF. See you soon. Welcome to the AT&T 5G halftime report. Special guest Megan Rapinoe. She's here to talk all things, judge all things. We'll get into basketball, fashion. I think you see that hashtag below, BTSWFF. That is how you can ask us questions. We're ready to take any and all, probably with some exception.
We are an open book here.
We're an open book here. So we were just actually talking about how we say we when we talk about the UConn Huskies. Should we not say we?
You guys gotta say you. I just feel like, how many championships did they win before you got there?
One.
How many championships did they win before you got there?
2.
Okay. Stewie can't say we, you know? It's just like, she's passed it, she won 100 of them, like it's a whole, you guys built it.
That's
I feel
a
like
good
own
point.
it. Is there a UConn bias? Like, you guys love it. It's
So what's
fine.
interesting is not sometimes, we get questions a lot about this very topic. And I do at times forget, but also like to remind people, when I was being recruited, like, they weren't all that. They had a lot of fans. I'll tell you that. They were South Carolina then. Like the way South Carolina's fans were, that was UConn when I was getting recruited. But they had one championship. They made it to another Final Four, and they hadn't been back to the Final Four. So funny enough, when we first made the Final Four my sophomore year, we were like, we cut down the nets. Like, we were hype.
Right.
Like, we were so excited. We got back to the Final Four, and that was our championship.
Is the chair of your first Final Four in our storage unit in Connecticut?
It absolutely is.
It absolutely is.
All the chairs are.
All they are.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
Lily's got the chairs
Lily's
too.
got the chairs.
Yeah, the Final Four chair is like
special. I know,
the
so tell
trophy.
everybody
It's
about
like
that.
our trophy. I don't really know the story about him.
So when you go to a Final Four, the chairs they use for the bench,
do storytelling.
you get to keep those. Each player gets
It
one of
is
those
cool.
chairs.
Well, that's
It's
why
very
when
cool.
Asia was up here the other night,
Yeah,
I'm
we were
like,
talking about
Asia
that.
feels like she's on the team right now. Like, she built that program
She's down there.
in a lot of ways. And she's like, going through it, she's probably like playing the game in her head. The same with Angel.
Absolutely. Do you feel that way about the Portland Pilots?
Well, we had a bit of a downfall. Shout out Frenchie, she's bringing him back. We all know Frenchie, Michelle French. She obviously
Absolutely.
went to Portland, played on the national team, all the things. She's bringing him back, but we had a bit of a downfall, you know, but they need to get a little better before we hop back on the train, you know?
All right, so Megan, if you were in college basketball right now and you were a senior, would you take your COVID year?
What kind of senior? Am I like a paid senior or like a normal senior? Am I making money or am I?
You're a senior. I don't know. Yeah, you're killing it in the NIL. You're killing it in that area. You're doing well. You're a good player. You'll get drafted.
Okay, there's a couple types of players, like Paige or Aaliyah. Like, they're gonna get whatever they're gonna get all the time, like whether they go to the league or stay or whatever. I feel like there is a below range of players where, like, it might be advantageous both development-wise and financially for you to stay. And then for some players, like, you don't have either option, so you might as well stay.
I mean,
another year.
For a lot of players,
Might as well get your grad degree.
this might be the most money they make in their whole lives playing
Yeah.
basketball.
So you
like
should
you just said,
capitalize on that.
Paige and Aaliyah, I mean, doesn't
Yeah.
matter where they play, they're going to
The
make
whole
that
thing.
money.
Yeah.
But there are these kids that are playing at Fresno State, Duluth, Minnesota. Like, they're superstars in their own little cities that
Grand PA.
they're getting free shrimp and steak every night from the
It's
local
true.
diner.
They need to live this life.
I would have. What did we get? What did we get?
Free tanning sessions.
Free tanning sessions. Terry,
Free
shout
cancer.
out.
Shout out, Terry.
Free cancer.
I know.
Hey, you guys are great.
It was the late 90s. All right, so we have a social question.
Okay.
So let's see what the fans got for us. All right, who has a better shoe collection? Sue Bird or Diana Taurasi? Well, we're both Nike. I'm assuming we both get the same packages.
We have to coordinate most times.
I know. So yeah, tell that story.
So we got down to the lobby the other day, and I was like, ooh, I brought those. And Sue was like, ooh, I brought those. But we didn't wear the same ones. So from here on out, we shall coordinate.
We need to coordinate. So we
Yeah.
came on this trip. We needed to hit each other up beforehand. Because we basically have the same stuff.
How big is your shoe collection? Show them your hand.
What?
building
have enough
shoe
hands.
storage on
Oh
the
my-
side.
Oh yeah, I was like 1, 2. I don't have enough. Yeah, I have a boo-boo from building a shoe rack.
You know what? I would venture to say they're the same. You're just a social media lurker, so you're not posting.
Lurker? I'm dormant.
Hey,
Dormant,
dormant.
but they
word is out on you.
I'm dormant.
You're dormant.
Sue's trying to figure me out,
I mean,
but she
listen,
can't.
All right.
the goats stay laced. We just know that.
Well,
We
when
do
Penny
stay
goes to
laced.
bed, I steal her phone.
We have another question. Sue and Diana, what was your favorite memory at UConn that didn't involve basketball?
Ooh, should we bring up the band guy? No, we're not bringing up the band guy.
You brought the band guy up. Band guy just got married.
I know. So one of my favorite memories was my freshman year.
Someone off camera's freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, the band guy! What is this? Where are we going?"
The men's soccer team won the national championship.
Oh my God!
And
this
we
is the
went
best
out
story.
that night.
We did.
And I got back to the dorm and I lost my boot. I couldn't find my boot anywhere.
Is this where I step in?
Is there a different version to this story?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I don't remember.
So we were out. We were at the local
Facts.
establishment on campus, doing our thing. We were
The
with the
Husky?
men's. We were at the men's. No, not Huskies. Teds. We were at the men's hockey team,
Yes.
having a good time. Soccer wins. Blah, blah, blah. They actually flew home that night, and their bus pulled up as we're walking back to our dorms. The men's soccer team bus pulls up. So we're like the
so
greeting
happy
crew.
for 'em.
We're thrilled. We're jumping around. We're like, ah.
We're so
They
happy
get
for
off.
'em.
Dee runs over to give one of the guys a hug. She steps in snow, and on the way out, the shoe got lost. So if you're wondering where your shoe is, it's in the snow in front of the field house.
I shall find that boot.
What kind of shoe? It was a
I,
boot, like a
I think it was a
Timberland
Doc
or
Martin
like
or something, you know, boots and
Hey, Docs
jeans.
came back around. Should have kept them.
I don't know. Boots and jeans
All
to
right.
the club.
Boots and
Hold those
bootlegs.
thoughts. Hold those thoughts. This is our halftime report. We'll be right back.
This halftime report is presented by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure. This halftime report is presented by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Welcome back to the AT&T 5G halftime report. Before we hit that second half, Megan, give us some thoughts.
Okay, you guys told the rebound and run story, right? What would Jesus do? That's what they need to do.
There it
There's
is.
like 1,000 rebounds happening for the Cox, and we can't have that. They can't be getting all the play, right?
God.
So we need to rebound. We need to box out. Am I saying we?
Look at you.
I know. Are you saying we?
Married
You
into the
guys.
family.
Wow.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Ted Lasso.
all right, y'all,
Get
this
some rebounds.
has been
Go for
the
it.
AT&T 5G halftime report. Megan, thanks for joining us. See you soon. Welcome back to the Bird and Taurasi Show, presented by AT&T 5G. We got a really good first half, like intense, some swings, ups and downs on both sides. South Carolina with the lead. We're joined by Megan Rapinoe, who just now, during halftime, brought up an infamous UConn story that we want the rest of the world, y'all, to know about.
Well,
So
we
when
talked about Tara-isms.
Yeah, we talked about Tara-isms. There's definitely Gino-isms.
Is there Gino-isms? I feel like I've heard 20 Gino-isms.
Exactly. We're about to
Yeah.
share one.
He's
when
like the master of the isms.
The isms, yes. So when the WWJD, What Would Jesus Do bracelets were very popular, Diana
Did you have one?
No, I did not have one. For some reason, I was not blessed with one.
I did, unfortunately.
Did you?
You wore one?
Yeah.
Look
Good
at
to
you
know.
now.
Look at you
I was basically
now.
in a cult when I was younger. It's fine.
Okay.
Whatever.
Well, so Final Four game. Who are you guys playing? You remember who? Was it Texas?
I think we're playing Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the game DB brought
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Tough game, back and forth. You guys were down even, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a timeout, an intense moment. Someone on the team had a WWJD bracelet. Coach Ariema looked at it, gave a pause,
Yeah.
and went, you want to know what Jesus would do? He'd rebound and run.
With a
And
little
that-
sprinkle of X-rated language.
Yeah, there was an F-bomb in there. but-
Rebound and run.
You better. So that was the story Megan brought up at halftime. We wanted to share that with the world.
And it's so fitting because basketball is not complicated.
No.
Like, if you can't get the ball, the same in football, You can't win. You know what I mean?
Can't get it.
Pass the ball, trap the ball.
Take
Pass
the ball, pass the ball. Take the ball, pass the ball.
Pick and roll at the top of the key. Layup. So simple. It's
It
so
is simple. It's
Yeah,
a simple
it's a
game.
game of inches at the same time. So those simple things are not always so simple.
It's a
clearly.
game of inches. Ask the Cox.
Ask him.
And they're taking those inches.
Do you take those inches?
Absolutely. When you're on the court, you have every little piece of court you have to take. And I always talk about this with our teams when we're not playing well. It's like you have to take that space on the court. The team that dominates the space on the court, the same on the soccer field, that's the team that's going to win. And South Carolina has done that more than anyone else
You
in
gotta
this
be
whole
aggressive.
tournament.
You got to be aggressive. I feel like UConn was a little tight to begin with.
Yeah.
I feel like
But South Carolina did that. That was
No, I
South
know.
Carolina imposing.
No, definitely. But I feel like in the whole grand scheme, UConn players are going to feel more pressure because they have the institution, they have the legacy behind them. And like South Carolina's sort of like new breed, they got a new vibe, new swag,
Absolutely.
and it allows them to play a little freer, which I feel like. I mean, I think pressure is always a privilege, and it seems like they're basking in it now. It's like 10 points. Okay, we're gonna need a little bit more.
Well,
But
Megan, no
I
one's
feel like-
lost a national championship game.
I know.
Both these programs
I know.
are undefeated.
I know.
Undefeated.
It's a good matchup of like style and legacy and like the whole narrative
Yeah,
around
well, it's
everything.
the team that's been there for God, how many
Every
Final
year.
Fours has Connecticut been in now?
14 in a row.
14 in a row.
I mean,
then
if we just think about that,
it's incredible.
and not even being former Huskies, I mean, that is insane.
No, it's like when people
What he's
hate on
been able to
LeBron,
do.
and then he's like, he went to how many finals in a row?
10 in a row?
He went to 10
Yeah, it's
finals in
dumb.
a row.
Like,
How
what
do you-
more can the man do?
Right, but at the same time, and this is actually what's interesting about that topic, because we were there at the beginning-ish of the Connecticut dynasty. When you're trying to build something, there's a different pressure there, right? So South Carolina has a different pressure than what Connecticut is feeling. But when you're South Carolina, you're trying to take down the big dog. So in some ways, the pressure is like, you're
Which one do you think is easier? What do you think is harder?
But you know
I
what?
think staying on top is harder.
I think
Yeah.
Don has these kids believing they're the big dogs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this season for sure.
Yeah, but I
mean,
think
they have
since
got all
she's
the
got
swag.
there, I think Dawn has brought that mentality to that program. Like, nah, we're here. Doesn't matter how long anyone else has been here, but we're here now.
Yep.
And they play like it every
They
time they
do.
step
Yeah.
on the court.
They do. It really
Big
would have
credit
been
to Dawn.
interesting. It really would have been interesting to see what would have happened in the 2020 tournament, the one that got canceled because
Yeah.
of COVID.
Right.
Those were some great storylines. I mean, I did a little studio work that year. You had South Carolina. Ty Harris was the point guard leading the way. Kiki was on the team.
Right.
She was killing it. And they had there was something special about that group. But then you had that juxtaposition of the Oregon Ducks. Sabrina setting all the records,
Yep.
right? Ruthie Hebert killing it. Satu Sabali, who's already
Ooh,
having
they would've
amazing
made a run.
freshman-
They would've made a
That-
good run.
That final,
Yeah.
it's
They
like
got
the final
buckets.
we never got to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
That
have been
sucks.
tremendous for women's
sucks.
basketball. That would have been so
Dawn's
fun.
fit today?
What do you think? Yeah, hey, we got the fashion police here. She brought her own little satchel. You want to give the... You want to... we
Shout out
had
Ali Wong.
solo cups in our satchel. Megan is fitting... I don't know. Can you fit a shot in there?
Well, when you go to the stadiums, it has to be
oh, that's your
transparent.
your hotel room key?
This is my hotel room key.
Appreciate that.
Amongst other things, I had to take a couple things out.
Absolutely.
Give it to our girl Linz. Don't worry about that. Okay, Dawn. This fit is nice.
Yeah, I like her jacket a lot.
Yo, this jacket.
Oh. Go ahead, Paige.
Whoa.
I think Sue, you went YSL today. Dawn went traditional Louis. Shout out, rest in peace, Virgil. Dawn brought a 10 today. I'm gonna say that. You know that.
What about Coach Ariema?
I'm happy he's out of the dry fit. That's not flattering on anyone. And the shirt, no tie, and the sport coat, that's him. That's
his look.
That's y'all's man's.
I saw him after the game, the semis. I was like, you got jeans on? I've been wearing jeans all season.
Yeah. He's got his
There's
Luigi
like those
vibe.
like gray jeans on. There's like the nice jeans.
Yeah, it's the gray jeans. It's the
Chris
gray jeans.
Daly?
Oh,
Hey, she came correct.
Chris
for this
Daly?
Final
Miss
I
Daly.
literally yelled at her in the tunnel. We were like going to get into the stadium. It was like kind of awkward. All the players walked by, and then we were just standing there. I was like, "Hey, girls," and then I actually hollered at Chris Stanley. Not hollered at, not.
I didn't.
Just
I didn't
literally
think
yelled at her.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't think-
Okay. It got
he
awkward.
hollered
Sorry.
at
I got
CD.
And here we are,
Crowd was
11-point game.
So this was what we were talking about with DB, right? This is exactly the moment where you're like, 11-point game. We haven't even played our best yet. There's 7 minutes. By the fourth quarter, let's make this a 5-point game. Because I feel like when you break it down and you make it simple, you can kind of it's easy to digest as a player. It doesn't feel like this like insurmountable. You can actually achieve it. What happened? I didn't see it.
You know what happened?
Oh,
You know what I'd love to see more
I saw
high pick
no.
and rolls
Oh.
where the guards can make the decisions. I need to see some
Yes.
rolling from the bigs. And honestly, I only ever want Kristen, Paige, and AZ to have it.
This is where I'm like, why are you having Paige bring it up? Why are we wasting energy when somebody's picking you up full
Or
court?
get her running off
Is that just the
something?
41-year-old
No,
point guard
because she's going to get to the corner. The action's going to be for her again.
Okay.
You know? And once again, we got 2 rollers to the post, which is never efficient.
Like right there, go
That
screen
drives
and
me
not get the ball.
insane. Why are you both rolling?
Well, AZ's back in
up.
action, which is good for us. She's going to do
Yeah,
that.
so AZ's only played, where did it go? 8 minutes. So from what
What's
we
up with
heard,
that?
she's not feeling well. She woke up sick. Didn't really do shoot around even.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I don't know, but this kid Destiny is really good. She's
Yeah.
really fun to watch.
She is fun to watch.
You know, you can tell she really makes this team go. She gets them in the right positions. She gets the ball to the right people. I mean, she's really impressive to watch.
I feel like she's a real product of Dawn.
Yeah.
Like new, she's like got her swag. She always has everything off court, but she's just like Dawn's like, do your thing.
Have you seen her clothing line?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything's possible. But she also has like the one calf sleeve and then like the arm things and the headband and like her style's great and she's got all kinds of swag and I feel like that's you can see a total contrast in style.
Yeah.
On, off court, everything like ethos, everything going on here. One is like old guard and totally traditional and so successful as you can't knock it. The other one's a little bit new and it's like I think it's cool. I think it's great for women's basketball.
It's so cool because when I was in 8th grade, I had this a Nike charm necklace that I got at the swap meet, and I was cold. You know, look how things have changed.
That is cold.
It was a little Nike. It got tarnished because I used to shower with it. I don't think it was real silver.
So
and I thought
definitely wasn't
and I
real
thought it was
silver.
the coolest thing. These kids now, Gucci.
Oh no, they got it all. Nicole
Okay.
Kazmarski and I, when we went to Christ the King, used to draw. We wanted the tattoo, never did it. Used to draw Nike check
Dang.
on our ankle.
You got to be Eakin for that.
tattoo.
She got that henna tattoo.
Listen, and then we would write the NYC. Remember that logo? The NYC with the check through
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
Oh, we thought we were cool. We weren't.
No, every time I check out one of these kids' Instagrams and I know the NIL and all this, but I'm like, where's all this money coming from?
God, we were so broke in college.
So Destiny
Bro.
Henderson, do you
Broke
leave?
in college.
Wait, Destiny
Like-
Henderson, do you leave or do you come back for your COVID year?
I mean, I guess if you win, you come back. I mean,
If you
'cause
win, you
She
come
comes
back?
back.
I think if you win, you
Destiny comes
leave.
back. Destiny comes back.
She
Oh, I
has
think
to
if you
come
win,
back.
you
I think
leave.
she's
I think she comes back.
she's one of those players that I think she has a great future in the WNBA, but she'll have the same future in a year. Like, I don't think the way she plays, winning or losing, is going to affect her draft stock, you know, in a way where if they win, she's going to go top 5.
Look at them just creating havoc defensively.
Yeah, it's
Usually Connecticut team. Now, you know what? UConn did this to Stanford last game. Made that offense look real weird. And now South Carolina's doing it to Connecticut. Usually our offense, it flows, it moves. South Carolina's doing a great job of just mucking it up.
What would you guys run here? If you're South Carolina, what's the goal? And if you're UConn, what are you running to get buckets?
You think they have cola?
They definitely have cola.
I might run cola.
Bear.
Baylor.
There you go, Paige.
I think, all right, if I'm South Carolina, I'm keeping it simple, to be honest. I think DB said it. Their best offense is crashing the boards anyways. So you can just play free, take whatever shot, and trust where your advantage is. You want to answer for UConn?
Well, you know, these teams are tricky because you think of South Carolina. Well, they can't shoot the ball from the outside, but then that puts your defense at a disadvantage where you're not pressuring, you're not creating offense for yourself, especially when you're not playing well.
That's true. All right, we got a timeout coming. We're enjoying talking about the game. We're actually watching this time, so that's kind of fun. Keep it locked in. We'll be right back. Time now for the AT&T 5G fast, reliable, secure spotlight. No surprise, Destiny Henderson, the player that has been setting the tone all night.
Henny in the cup. I mean, this kid just does it all right now. She's controlling tempo, making shots, throwing bows. I mean, Megan, what do you think?
Dude, did you just come up with the best nickname ever, Henny in the cup? Are you kidding me?
You better trademark that now. You better trademark that now.
Yo, Lindsay, Dan, trademark it. Henny in the cup. Do the things.
And then you can buy it. You can have her buy it from you.
Yeah, and then you license out for her NIL
well,
deal.
It's funny. Remember when websites were really popular? DinahTaurasi.com was owned by someone.
Yeah, you had to buy it.
And I was like, well, how can I buy it? It was like $150.
Yeah. You're like, no, I'm not buying that.
Deezus? That's Deezus from Deezus and Mero. That was like his job.
Shout out Deezus. Shout out Tommy.
Yeah, to like find the domains that would be hot. And then he would go to auctions to get them.
Mine was hot.
It's a skill. I learned it was a skill.
I bought it at the swap meet.
All right, so Dawn's got the Gamecocks like doing their thing right now, okay?
I mean,
they're dominating.
Their DNA is just coming out right now.
Definitely.
And all the things that they're good at, high level.
You speak of that DNA. We got firsthand experience with Dawn, both as a player, as a teammate, and as a coach. And one of my favorite stories of Dawn, so it was 2004. She's in her last Olympics. We're in our first. Van Chancellor is the coach. And Van was a player's coach, so you could like back and forth
Swoopers.
with him. So he called show swoopers, throwing Jolly Ranchers
Shout
to the
out
crowd.
Swoopers.
Shout out Van Chancellor for real. But Dawn, we went into practice one day, and Dawn was like, "Hey Van, my shoes have an alarm clock. 45 minutes, they come off." And I was like, "What in the world?" And he was like, "Oh, Dawn, don't worry about that. Dawn, you don't worry about that. I got you, Dawn. Dawn, I hear what you're saying, Port. I got you, Dawn." And I was like, "Well, I need to remember."
Wow, look how swaggy we look with the
Wow.
Gotta
be looking good.
We got basil on our head.
G32 got chanted on that very podium.
G32 is a
only slight hints of baby fat ballers. Slight hints.
No, yeah, we actually we had just come out of baby fat ballers. We were okay, and then we entered another phase of it.
Because someone cooked with butter in Russia.
Yeah, double down.
Yeah, someone put butter in our food. We didn't know.
We didn't know. But we found out because every time we'd go to the supermarket, we
had a chef in Russia.
Yeah, we put the groceries out, and we're like, 4 more sticks of butter?
Why are we getting so much butter?
Why are we getting so much butter?
They must be doing something else with it.
Why does this cheeseburger taste so good?
I love broccoli.
I never made the connection. Oh my God, tuna fish salad?
Yeah, we're guzzling.
I never made the connection with the amount of butter that was being bought.
So much butter.
And the food. But anyway, share one of your
another Dawn story. Once again, 2004. We were both rookies on that national team. We get to the airport on the way to Athens, and Dawn said, "Get over here, kid." And I'm like, "Oh, what she want now? What do these people want from me?" She goes, "Go get us donuts." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I'm National Player of the Year.
You're so pissed.
I'm on the cover of SI.
You're pissed.
Was that when you were riding?
Magazine. I was riding Meg Okafor. Yeah, shout out Meg. The only guy who walked around campus with a book and a dictionary because the book was so hard to read.
Wow.
Anyways,
Nan's so smart.
She goes, "Go get us donuts." And I'm like, so the whole time I'm walking to the donut store just, mopey.
Yes.
And I came back with donuts. But they'll never know what I did to those donuts before they... And then there was another one. We were doing shooting drills. It was the first practice I ever had with the national team. And I was swaggy. I had my big shorts on. I was like, I'm about to bust these old heads.
You love those big shorts.
And Dawn comes up to me.
Socks.
She goes, "D, take those shorts off." I was like, what is going on? She goes, "Katie has small shorts. She needs big shorts." She made me, in the middle of a shooting drill, take off my shorts, give them to Katie Smith.
Wow.
And put on the small shorts. And I was like, this is really fun.
But honestly,
I can't wait to go to Athens.
As someone who never has the right size shorts, I never have the right size shorts. I appreciate that. I appreciate
she was looking out for
Dawn
a girl.
looking out for her girl.
She a point guard. She was looking out for someone else.
I appreciate
Was she
that.
looking at or was she punking you?
Both. I think it was 50-50.
Sometimes when it matches up, it's just the perfect combo.
It's 50-50.
It's the perfect combo.
Oh, this Aaliyah Boston girl is just showing out in this Final Four. She's
Can
just
she
showing
come out early?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Does she come out early?
No, I said, can she? She can't.
She can't.
She's not eligible.
I mean, my hair's not pink right now, but can we just shout out Leah Boston for her amazing hair?
Absolutely.
Honestly, Leah Edwards, too. I'm just like, I'm totally...
I'm totally here for it. I think Ducharme. Love. So someone asked me the other day, like, oh, who's your favorite player on the team? There's some obvious answers. Paige, AZ. You can go on. Christian Williams going to have a great WNBA career.
Absolutely.
Ducharme. I think the next wave of important WNBA players is the whole 3-and-D category. Can shoot threes, can play defense. But to me, I would add another level to it. It's the Alicia Clark level. Can post up. It
AC,
matters.
where you at, girl?
Like when you have to guard.
Busted!
We taking that time out? Are we taking that time out, Dawn? Oh, we taking that time out.
We won a game. We won a game.
I don't even care who wins. I want. Oh, okay, Caroline Doty.
Pressure's on. Ooh, the pressure. That's all you want to see in these games is the pressure.
That's true. You want to see how they respond.
You want to see exactly.
That's the best part. The pressure's the best part. And we're going to talk more about pressure when we get back because we got Megan Rapinoe who handles it well. We have a 6-point game with a minute left in the third, and the Huskies have finally made a run that might scare South Carolina a little bit.
I mean, Paige making plays for other people is huge. We know how offensive-minded she is. And you know what? There's nothing like the three ball to get you back on track. It's the ultimate equalizer. They can out-rebound you. They can out-muscle you. But if you can shoot the three, baby, you in. Store's going crazy.
Gamble going wild.
Come on now. We're going to sell out the Gamble and Ted's. And then we'll go to the sports bar. And then Huskies. Where we going? Sergeant Pep's, DB Where we going, girl?
Bidwell, Rocks and Wings.
Let's go.
Bidwell, Rocks and Wings. No, you're right. So this is the one, Ginoism, if you will, that I've taken with me through all time. 3 is worth more than 2.
Jeez, so profound.
3 is worth more than 2.
So profound, Coach. But you know what? It's true, though. It just gets you
really
back in the
true.
game. And
it does.
There's nothing like making shots to make
you feel better.
To make you feel better in every aspect of the game. But
that's how I felt today in our workout.
Exactly. Like you might not be able to run or jump, but if you can make shots, you can play all day long. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Salud. Cheers to that.
I mean, cheers to that.
Tell 'em,
yeah.
Megs.
Big time cheers to that.
Tell 'em,
All right,
Megs.
Megan, we talked about pressure before we went to that break. There's a minute 11 left.
Okay.
So that's how much time you have to talk about this. Tell us what it's like when you step up to a penalty kick on the stage of a World Cup. Like, what is that?
You know what? I've already gone through like total worst case scenario. I'm like
you already lived it.
Yeah, I've already lived it
in your head.
You get there, you lose the World Cup for your country. That's it. It's the worst thing that could ever possibly happen. You get up there, you Roberto Baggio.
I cried so hard when Baggio missed that penalty
You
kick.
get up there, you Baggio
I
it,
cried.
and what do you do?
Baggio it.
What do you do? It's like I feel like I'd rather be in that moment than not, and
Absolutely.
so I'm willing to accept anything. And then from there, work on your craft though. Like do the work, get your routine down, do all the things.
Work on your racket.
I'm all
What's
about
the
the racket.
We're changing it up.
We're changing the game. We're going
More
back into
craft.
our racket.
What's the racket?
Got to build a racket.
I feel like I should be in New Jersey right now.
You do have
know
the
what I mean?
leather
I
on.
feel like I should be in New Jersey. It's vegan leather, by the way.
Of course.
Why not?
Nobody
Certified.
thought it wasn't.
I feel good right now. I feel like Connecticut's going to bring that East Coast, bunker mentality.
But what about you guys?
Cold.
You guys, I mean, listen, I feel like I'm talking about penalty kicks at the age of 36, being able to be like, oh, I had the frame of mind to just, to go through my routine. You guys were in this. There's there's 20,000 people in here, 25,000 people. There's probably millions watching. Like, you got the pressure. You have the legendary Gino on the sideline looking at you like, you better make them free throws. Like, what's that like?
I remember
you're carrying the, UConn crush with you.
2002 National Championship game. I was playing like absolute dookie. And do you remember that timeout? He calls the timeout, and he reams me out for a whole timeout. And I'm just like Aaliyah Boston sad crying.
Yeah.
The original Jordan cry face. And then I have all 11 Huskies like, D, you got this. Like, you got this. And then, we fast forward to the fourth quarter. Hen Dog's in this game.
No, she's in this game.
And then he runs the last play for me. So, there's these moments, there's these ups and downs that you have to compete with. And, you're only 19, 20 years old. But that's when you just go back on, you know what? One, you just can't care. And you've played enough basketball and soccer to just go back to your instincts. And that's what this game's
You've
about.
already done
It's
it,
about
to your
instincts.
point.
You already done it. Yeah.
Ooh, that was close.
Sue, what about you? You have like a lockdown memory. Do you have any like visceral memories? Are we going to break or something? Yep. Got it. Yep.
Megan's good at this TV thing,
yep,
isn't she? We are. And I have questions for both of you when we get back, but I'll answer that when we get back as well. All right, guys. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. That fourth quarter, we got a 9-point game. Coach Ariema, JJ, plotting and planning. We'll see what the Huskies come out with in that fourth. They're going to need something. Welcome back to the Bird Taurasi Show. We have enjoyed having the one and only Megan Rapinoe. We like your hair too, boo. You like it? It's
looking
cute.
good.
Yeah, you looking good.
Ooh,
It's a fresh cut.
approval?
A fresh cut. Shout out Leslie Culler, fresh cut. No,
what's
it's
up.
been fun having you on here. I mean, I wish the world knew how much you actually love basketball and like genuinely.
I'm a super fan.
Get into it.
I'm a super fan in the weirdest way.
Get into it.
I love it.
It's pretty fun. I know. I mean, you have Penny. Shout out Penny as well, who
Absolutely.
I know is watching.
Put the kids to bed, babe.
So how often do you talk about basketball with Penny?
We are basketball junkies, addicts. It's always on TV. We're always talking about it. And you know, the best thing is when I talk to basketball about Penny, she thinks about it way differently than I do. So I always get a different perspective, which I'm always fascinated about. And like, I'm sure you get a different perspective from Megan.
Yeah, it's
Penny
fun.
has a certain way of looking at basketball that I never think about. And it's always, I mean, we watch so much basketball that it's sickening.
That's true. Now, Dee, I played with you a long time. There has been moments where I've seen you give the bird to the crowd. Happened once in Russia, but you never gave the double birds.
I never gave the double birds.
Capital One knew what they were doing. Double birds are rare.
That's
So
tough
when
to
you
pull
have
off.
them,
That's
when you
tough to
have
pull
them in the
off.
building, you got to make the most of it. I mean, Cap One killed it with that commercial. Can we agree?
Loved
I
it.
mean, listen, I'm biased, but
It was amazing.
they did a good job.
It was amazing.
Well, people do actually come up to you and are like, "Are you related to Larry Bird?"
Have you seen that?
Live and
attest.
in person, I've seen that
It
multiple
literally
times.
happens. Since
Multiple times.
The moment I was in Newsday, Long Island Newsday, the moment
The Long Island Chronicle.
I cracked into the local paper,
Yeah.
people have been asking me if I'm
Well,
related.
you know
so to
what's
actually meet him
Yeah.
was
You know what's crazy? Bill
Amazing.
thinks you're still related. Bill Walton still thinks you're Larry Bird's
and I have
long lost cousin.
And I have my great aunt Dinah,
Yeah,
who
Dinah.
apparently he
Gosh, she was a great player.
that was very confusing.
It's
but
the
no,
legacy.
Capital One killed it with that commercial. I also want to shout out Samuel Jackson because, first of all, we met him when I was in college, and he remembered. We were hyped. We met him in Europe. We were so hyped. He remembered. We had a good little chat about that. But he's the one that was like, I told this story earlier. He was the one that was like, Spike, we got to do the double birds.
You gotta
And
do
they
the
were like,
double
"Oh,
birds."
we need
So
an
funny.
alternate. We need an alternate ending just in case." He
It's
was
so
like,
funny.
"Spike, double birds, double birds."
You know, and that is what we're talking about here. You have to be creative. The game is about being creative. Like the arts is about being creative. You can't do the same thing everyone else has been doing. And we've been having this
No.
conversation a lot lately. Like you have to look outside the box and try things differently. Because if not, things just get passed down and passed down and
Yeah.
keep doing the same old thing.
You got to
So
be
gotta
creative. For sure. I know, and honestly, being in the same room with like Magic,
I mean,
Larry, watching them interact.
Charles
Charles
Barkley.
Barkley. Charles.
Ledge.
Charles.
Shout out
I mean,
Charles.
Kind of.
Talk about
so much
donuts.
fun.
Charles Barkley
So
wanted to
much fun.
draft Elena Beard instead of me. Shout out to AB, one of the best defenders of all time. We shared a lot of great moments, but Charles wanted Elena
No,
Beard
Charles
instead of
is-
me in the desert. So you know what, Charles?
Charles is
Shove
the
it.
best.
Double birds.
Charles
You
is the
Charles.
best.
Double birds
Nah,
for Charles.
not Charles. Don't
Capital
listen.
One,
Don't
double
listen.
birds.
All right, Megan. You know we love you. Thank you for joining. You've held it down.
Held
We
it down.
appreciate you.
Cheers.
to
Okay.
you.
Ching.
What's
The
in
captain's
cup?
band is
Chin
changing
chin.
over. It's time
I'm
to
out.
exit the game.
I'm out. The
That-
captain's
that
band's
person-
off. I'm faking an
that
injury.
person holding
I've had
the
a whole
number
thing.
up.
I'm bowing out.
Later, boo.
All right, keep the sweet safe for us.
We got a UConn timeout coming up.
All right, here we go.
This is that moment. They made their run and then it woke South Carolina up. It's always so hard. When we come back, we'll talk more about that again. Like, it's just always so hard to make the run and sustain. But that's what it is. That's another thing Coach Ariema used to say. Basketball is a game of runs. He would hammer that.
Guess
into
what,
us.
Sue?
Do they have another run left?
Absolutely. There's
Will
still
we
a lot.
find out when we get back?
Absolutely. A lot of time left.
We're going to have to find out when we get back.
Ding shirt.
The Bird and
Stop
Taurasi
it.
Show is presented by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Kelly
Jay Mack was on
Santi.
TV.
And we're on. Who knew? We were start ganging out over a Charlotte Sting shirt. Asia Wilson, one thing you can count on from her, she's gonna dance.
And she has.
And right now she's happy. And she told us if they were up 20, she would come crash the set. So I'm glad they're only up 11.
I mean, she has a lot of reasons to dance right now. I mean,
100%.
South Carolina is just beating them up on the boards. 38-19. You can't get doubled up on the boards and expect to win a game like this. And you know, we said multiple people have to contribute. It can't just be Paige doing everything. Coach said it before the game. And, you know, frankly, they just haven't had a lot of contributions. Hammer screen on the backside didn't work. I mean, South Carolina is on this right now.
No, they're good. It's been an uphill battle for UConn the entire game, and so much credit goes to South Carolina for creating that, for dictating that. I mean, there you go, Henny. So one thing that will get talked about today is her 20 points. Right now, 7 of 15, 3 of 4 from 3, 28 minutes. Like, that is efficient. But what she's also done, set the tempo defensively.
Absolutely.
She always picks up the toughest matchup, always creating so much on the defensive side. I hope she gets credit for that too tonight as well.
I mean, she's made life so hard for Paige. Picking up full court, going over every screen. And
listen, that happened to Paige against Arizona with Aerie too.
I mean, being physical with their best players, usually the ammo.
What do people do to you?
Absolutely. They try to beat you up, get you off your game, rhythm. Same with you. Remember those Spanish teams used to play you from behind, try to speed you up. You know, and that's what they've done. A little ISO for Boston here on the block. And she's just been patient. You know what I liked about her? She hasn't forced anything tonight.
No, not at all.
You know, they've worked it around and they've shot the ball well. And there is the Achilles heel of Connecticut tonight.
This is where they thrive. I hear you. Talk your... Yep. Talk
all of that.
Mom.
All of that, Mom. All of that.
Victoria Sachs is another player that doesn't get talked about enough on this team. But so we were talking about this earlier, right? Everybody, especially in the WNBA, they always talk about a big three. If you have a big three, you have a chance to win. But what is it always about?
That athletic four, that athletic post player. That's the most complicated position in the WNBA. If you don't have one, you're done.
In trouble.
And if you do have it, that's your advantage in almost every game.
All of them.
And then and these are games where you try to find that. And there's another one where she's going to find herself on a WNBA team and make huge contributions.
So when we were going through our free agency in heading into 2021, so we've just won in the bubble season. We're heading into this. We've got Alicia Clark as a free agent. Natasha Howard is a free agent. Sammy Whitcomb is everybody was a free agent. So we ended up losing those players. But one trade we made was Natasha Howard to New York. And a big piece of that trade was getting Kiki Herbert-Harrigan from Minnesota. This is a player, a South Carolina product, who's active. She might be a little undersized for the 4, but she can shoot the 3.
Yeah.
And she shoots it well. She just had a baby, so she's on her way back. So I'm really excited to see her in our training camp because, to your point, when you have that player, we obviously have Stewie, but Stewie can't play 40 minutes. That's just not, it's not what this is, right? So if you have that player that can complement Stewie, can give her breaks and come in and be that 4 player, that's so, like you said, advantageous.
Oh, it's huge. And we see that on most teams that, you know, win a championship is like you have that 3rd, 4th player that is the offset that makes the thing work when you know what you're going to expect from certain players. It's that matchup that changes the whole complexity of the game. And you know what? Westbrook has played great in this game. You know, she's been in and out of the lineups, and it's hard when you're in and out of lineups to be aggressive, but she's really pushed the tempo, made a couple shots, and I like the force she plays with. And there's another one, you know, she's going to be another WNBA, you know, prospect that's going to really help a team.
So if you had to pick, like, not an obvious teammate, right? Like, obviously you love to play with me. Obviously you love to play with Penny. You love to play with BG. Right. You know, these are like Olympians. Yeah. So what are some, like, other players that you've played with through the years that, like, you just loved playing
absolutely. I'll go really recent. This Brianna Turner kid that we have on the team right now from Notre Dame is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that she does on the court without the basketball, you know, it's always easy to affect the game when you have the ball, right? Like, you can make all the decisions, you can really dictate. But when you can affect the game when you don't have the ball, those are the players that really complement your team. The Alicia Clarks, the Natasha Howards when you guys were, you know, winning championships. And for us, it's always been that person, the Brianna Turners.
Yeah.
The Nicole Willinghams, which we both got to, experience. The Changeless Smiths. It's these players that are so high level. and they put you over the top. So probably breezy right now. She's out in Italy, trying to win a championship. So, excited to play with her again.
Whew, good block. I mean, we talk about those players. We should probably take a minute to give a quick congratulations. Swin Cash, Lindsay Whalen, people we played with. Congratulations on making it into the Naismith Hall of Fame. That's amazing. They're so deserving. I mean, the whole class, when you go down the list, amazing. But for those two, I mean, it's crazy. It's people we're playing with now are going into the Hall of Fame.
It is crazy.
But will they go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
The West Hollywood
the
Rock,
Entertainment Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, because,
The Humanitarian Hall of Fame.
That one I loved. I love the humans.
I was like, dang, we're in all the Hall of Fames. Thank you, Bill.
Well, and then, shout out to Penny Taylor.
Yes, Penny Taylor.
The most underrated, ferocious. Penny was ferocious.
Penny was
when she played. She just would go at you so hard.
I mean,
and she would do it with a smile.
I'm like, I didn't see the smile part. I just saw the ferocious part.
Maybe she just smiled for me.
When you think about it, right? We go to the London. Okay, so Australia has just won a gold medal in 2006 in the World Championships. We play them in the 2008 finals in Beijing. Penny, from what I understand, hurts her ankle and is like 24/7 doing treatment, trying to just get back
broken
on
ankle.
Fractured broken ankle, right? Just trying to get back on the court. So we probably got Penny Taylor at, who knows, 50, 60%.
Right.
Fast forward to the London Olympics. Penny tears her ACL right before. So in a lot of ways, as great as the USA team has been, we never had to play the Australian team with Lauren, Liz, and Penny.
Yeah.
It was only two, right? It was Penny Lauren, and then it was Liz Lauren, and it was never the three
and
of
then
them.
Liz Penny in...
Yes. Oh, yeah, Liz Penny in,
Liz,
like, where the hell were we? 2018?
Yep.
Yeah. World Championships?
Liz Penny was Brazil, Rio.
Oh, Brazil, Rio.
Yeah,
okay.
2016.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So we never had all three of them. And there's every now and then, like, somehow this comes up.
Right.
And it's like, well, thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I know, because we all know what a healthy Penny Taylor looks like. I mean, she was the MVP of the 2006 World Championships.
Thank God.
Delisha Milton, Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah, we saw D last night.
What up with D Nasty?
Man.
Delisha was amazing.
D Nasty, D Sunshine.
I love it.
Last night she was D Sunshine.
She was D Sunshine last night. Incredible.
She was a
Delisha,
killer.
what a great teammate.
She was a killer.
Horrible to play against.
Horrible to play against.
But the best teammate ever.
Teammate. We had some good times, man.
We're starting to get to these moments where in the game you start looking up there, and at a certain point you have to start playing desperate basketball.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't know what that means for UConn right now, whether it's full court pressing, whether it's double teaming the ball. They're going to have to start doing things that are a little out of characteristic to get back in it, because there's just no time to work the ball around.
There's no time. I mean, that helps, but obviously not looking good for UConn. I'm trying to check these stats.
30-second timeout.
Man, Henny's up to 24. We missed 2 buckets while we were chatting.
Oh, I saw Henny.
She's up to
Henny in the cup.
24.
She was doing it. We got one right here. You go under the pick and roll. And, this kid just finds moments to be so effective. And just a simple play like that where you're just reading the defense, getting to the rack.
Nah, she's been impressive tonight.
And this is when UConn goes small and they have no rim protection. I mean, they've really struggled finding, the right 5 players to make it work.
Yeah. Well, against South Carolina, I think going small, you don't. I mean,
unless you're going to shoot the 3 ball at a high rate,
yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. But I think my favorite. I mean, listen, Destiny Henderson might win MVP of this Final Four. And the best part is, everybody talked about it. South Carolina's struggles offensively leading up until this Final Four. They started turning on a little bit. They picked it back up against Creighton. We definitely saw it in the semifinal. They were able, and now I think there was a stat when we were in the makeup room. They were talking about this stat where it was like South Carolina, don't quote me on this, has never shot 50% 3 games in a row. 2 games, yes, never 3.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what they're shooting, but okay, so it's not 50%, but they're shooting well. They're shooting well, and they just basically haven't had these offensive outputs 3 games in a row. And today, they've done just enough. It's only 57, but it's just enough.
Shockingly, I didn't do my homework for tonight's game,
Yeah, I'm like,
so I missed that.
Backfired when I looked at the stats.
Believe it or not,
That's a
usually I
bummer.
go through my packet and make sure I'm very prepared for these games, but tonight it just slipped my mind while I was in the makeup room getting my eyelashes done, of course.
I know, zoom in. When they asked you for lashes, can you show the people your response?
I just said, what eyelashes? What are we talking about here?
So do you want eyelashes?
I said, what? Eyelashes.
You're like, no, but can you touch up that pimple? No, I'm joking,
I can get this thing right here. You know, and you know, different factors in this game. I mean, you thought.
What about your freshman year, AZ's freshman year?
My freshman year, I had I think in Australia they call it a berry. I went 2 for 15, 1 for 13 from 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I just had a horrific night where I just was trying to get it going. And
Hey, there's a girl. Oh, you missed it.
There's my girl, Maj. I'll be looking for you this summer. You should have gave Sue a technical.
It's mine.
I could have done anything, Maj, and I would have got a technical.
I didn't get a technical because I know her name is Maj. That's probably why I didn't get
Maj,
the technical.
I could have winked at her and got a technical. I could have bought her dinner and I would have got a technical.
Apparently
I could have said,
reputation
that's a great
matters.
call, and I would have got a technical. But I had a horrific game, and that really set me up for the next 3 years. And it was funny because in that game, you could probably show that clip, and Coach comes up to me, and he puts his arm around me, and he goes,
yeah, he was nice to you.
I got you, D. I got you. We're gonna get through this. But then we got to school, and he didn't talk to me for like a year.
I was like, he did not say that to my class.
Well, you guys were upperclassmen. You should have known better. I was just a freshman. I didn't know any better.
We were juniors. Maybe if they didn't have that whole seniors run the world, it would have been different.
Maybe. Or maybe if I would have played more during the regular season, I would have been prepared. But no. Had to be on the bench. Prove a point. Hope he's happy.
You think you should have started that year?
I mean, that was when you go back in all your WNBA teams, college teams, and I'm sure every athlete goes back in their memory bank, and there's that great team that just didn't win.
Yeah, that was that year.
Probably the best team we ever had at Connecticut for sure. We were probably 11 deep, and
Svet,
for whatever reason.
Shay, me, you, Swin, Asia, right there, all Americans. Then you add on Tamika, Shui, you go down the list. Yeah, your whole class.
Maria, Jess Moore,
right.
The Valleys who are in the building today.
They are in the building.
Morgan Valley, assistant coach.
Yeah, no, that was a crazy talented team. Man, I mean, listen, the game is essentially over.
South Carolina.
I do not see.
South Carolina brought their big girl pants tonight.
They did.
They sure did.
They did.
And
I think we can be honest. Listen, we want the Huskies to win
Let's be honest.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I think both of us talked about this. South Carolina had the upper hand. They were probably going to win this game. And
Absolutely.
To their credit, again, they showed up and they did what they've been doing the whole season.
And South Carolina, we keep talking about their struggles. I mean, this team is 34-2.
Yeah.
They know who they are.
Right.
Nothing's shaking this team.
And the game they lost against Kentucky, they had that in the bag. They probably lost focus for that long. They lost against Missouri in the regular season. They have that crazy rivalry there.
Oh, yeah,
That rivalry's wild.
Absolutely.
That
Sophie
rivalry is
Cunningham
wild.
made that little rivalry spicy.
Yeah, she did. Then there was a lawsuit. That thing is wild. I'm not touching that.
Well, my senior year, we lost to Villanova in the semifinals of the Big East tournament. We didn't make it to the Big East final.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that kind of set us up for that tournament run. You kind of refocus a little bit. You get smacked in the face. You're like, oh, man, if we don't pay attention, we can lose to any team.
Right.
And I think South Carolina did the same thing. And Don has
well, you know what?
confidence.
You had a quote. I don't know. I'm sure you remember when I tell you, but
don't quote me.
I
now.
was at the game when we lost to Villanova.
Mm-hmm.
At Rutgers.
Yeah.
So what year was that? Is this the same year you're talking about?
That was our junior year.
That was your junior year. Okay, I'm at that game. You lose to Villanova. History obviously tells the story. You go on to win the national championship. And the one quote you had was, that loss was the biggest win of the year.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that's what you need.
And then in this game, hopefully that's what it means for Connecticut for next year.
Right.
Man,
the South Carolina fans, you can tell. They're starting to feel it. It's starting to get loud.
I mean, what a big year for Don. You know what I mean? Wins a gold medal as a coach. is really just putting her imprint on this team the minute she got there and doing it her own way.
Yeah, her own way. Look at Asia.
Asia's happy.
There she is getting hyped.
Come on up here, Asia.
I know, Asia. You can come up if you want.
Come talk your ish up here, Asia. Yeah, you looking at us?
I mean,
okay.
yeah, that's for us. That's basically for us.
Yeah, she's happy.
She's hyped. Because you're right. For her, this is her program.
Absolutely.
She did this. She did this.
And there's something special about being a part of a program.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked to Jen Rosati yesterday, and she was like, I was on the first national championship team. And we're like, yeah, Rizzo, like, you're the reason I went to Connecticut. Like, not
Yeah,
Coach
do we want to share
Oriema.
that story?
It was Jen Rosati.
When Diana is asked, why did you go to UConn? The answer is?
Jen Rosati, you know. I just loved everything about.
You were just a basketball junkie, huh?
Oh, my God. I would get home from school, and I would watch every Connecticut game, which was weird. Being on the West Coast, we always talk about how much basketball we played. And from 3 to when I went to bed, it was watch basketball, halftime timeouts, go hoop, come right back in. Watch college basketball. Lakers would come on at 7. You know, back then it was KCal 9. Watch Van Exel, go shoot.
That's your boy, huh?
That's my boy.
Nick Van Exel. So we were in a game like this. Obviously, it was the semifinals. We just talked about it against Notre Dame, where you clearly have there's a point differential you are not overcoming. The clock is winding down. That internally is the worst. Well, you fouled out.
I did foul out.
You didn't have to feel it.
Was my reffing that game? Probably. Let me go back in the film.
Wait, I came down the court. It was probably just like this. We might have been down. Literally, it might have been just like this. 1:15. I came down the court. I pulled up for 3 in transition. I hear Coach Oriema like, what are you doing? I was like, trying? I don't.
What else am I supposed to do?
What else am I supposed to do? It's the worst feeling.
I mean,
but
this
it's the
memory's
best feeling
great.
when you're on the other
I was going to
side.
say this.
It's the best feeling on the other
This feeling
side.
for them, one,
and they know it right now.
For South Carolina, it's going to be a memory that they're going to love forever.
Forever.
And for the UConn players, it's a memory you want to forget as quick as possible and get the season going or whatever's next in your life.
For these South Carolina players, they are going to love the city of Minneapolis forever. Like, take me back to San Antonio. Take me back to Philadelphia.
Take me to the Riverwalk.
Take me.
New Orleans, here I come.
I go to those places, I'm like, this is my
our
spot.
city, right?
This is my city. They will feel that way about Minneapolis.
Absolutely.
For the rest of their careers. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
One of them will get drafted to the Lynx at some point or play for the Lynx at some point, and they'll be like, oh, I ate at that restaurant before the national championship game, or this happened, or I partied here, or I did this. Oh, it's starting to build.
A lot
starting to build.
Yeah, a lot of questions were answered tonight of who the best team in the country is.
100%.
And I think we talk about it a lot. All the pressure was on Connecticut, but you know what? I think South Carolina came in here with all the pressure of thinking they were the best team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
proving they're the best team.
I don't know. I think they thought they were the best team.
But they have to prove it.
I don't feel like they felt like they had to prove anything tonight.
Oh, there's like, this is
They're
what
like,
it is.
this is who we are. And seeing Avina there, like, no matter whether you win or lose, when you know this is your last game ever in college.
So this is why I can't retire. I can't deal with that moment.
It's this unknown of where does my basketball career go from here, and it's a scary feeling, right?
Yeah, very scary. Man, I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
That's the best feeling right now. Right now, for the next 24 hours, you can never recreate it.
No.
Right? You try to keep the party going, but this one night, what they're about to do tonight, they'll never forget it. And that's where Band Guy came from.
Band Guy. Congratulations on the wedding, Band Guy.
Yeah, Band Guy, shout out.
What a moment.
I wonder if he told his wife.
The tangled webs we weave. Well, you know what? It's the game we wanted, right? We wanted the two best teams in the country with the two best players, and you don't always get what you want.
So I'd be curious to go back and check that early run by South Carolina. Was it like 15 points we were down?
Absolutely.
Because UConn could never get over the hump.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what happens. Sometimes that happens in games. It's that one run. And now we get to watch them celebrate
Super dope for them. Super
Boy,
dope.
Aaliyah Boston, what an incredible,
I love this kid.
What an
I love
incredible
this kid.
basketball player.
I love this kid.
And you know what I like about you can tell everyone likes her.
Likes her, yeah.
Like I haven't heard one thing other than this kid's great,
Right.
best teammate, amazing person. Like, I mean, her father welcomed you to her
welcome to the
country.
same time. I
mean,
know.
how incredible is that? And now she's going down in infamy. It's going to be her and Tim Duncan, the most famous people from that island.
St. Thomas, absolutely.
Yeah. One thing that Tim could never do was win a national championship. So this is amazing.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic. Oh, shout out Lisa Boyer.
Boy, Lisa.
Lisa was on that Olympic run with us.
And she was old school Cleveland Rockers.
Yeah,
You know that?
Cleveland Rockers.
Yeah.
And she was actually really fun to have in
Yeah.
Tokyo. She's funny.
I mean,
she's really funny.
It's what Dawn has done in this
Yes.
short time, and you know nothing just happens overnight. The work she did at Temple for all those years, getting that program on track, and you know,
look at the relief. In
it's
some
such
ways,
a
there's
good feeling.
relief. There's relief. I know Holly's about to grab somebody.
And they played everywhere as if that was some type of. But today we're national champions. And happy tears, Holly.
Happy tears.
What a
Happy
great kid.
tears. So if you guys want to smile, here you go. And we're national champions.
We'll save that smile, Aaliyah. It was hard, though. This is a tough UConn team. How did you get out to such a great start in this game?
I mean, we had our game plan ready to execute. We knew that we needed to apply so much defensive pressure, make it hard for Paige, and make someone else score. And I think we did that, and that helped our offense to run.
It was a master class on the glass. How did the dominance inside really seal this win?
We knew that we've been dominant on the glass all season, and we couldn't change up, especially for this game. We knew it would come down to rebounding.
All right, we'll remember this night, Aaliyah. No more tears.
No more tears except for our national champions, baby.
Yo, when you're getting interviewed by Holly, you know you did something right.
You made it, Mama. We made it.
When that Holly interview, like, oh, hey, yeah, come on, yes,
Yeah.
interview. You're like, oh, I did something right tonight.
I mean, and we can fast forward. I mean, this team is going to be the consensus #1 going into next year again.
100%.
Like, they're going to now.
Dawn's probably going to hit the portal.
Oh,
in about
absolutely.
24 hours. Check out one of those 1,000 kids.
What is
in
it?
there.
The Tinder
What
portal?
the- yeah. She's going to be swiping left, swiping right.
Nah, I need a shooter.
Point guard. Nope. I need
Nope.
a. Oh, here we go. Swipe left, swipe right. All right, let's see who else Holly has.
I got Henny in the cup.
Let's see who Holly has for me.
Destiny, not only are you holding the national championship trophy, but you did it with a career high. How did you get your
They already got the
offense
trophy?
working?
My teammates trusted in me. I feel like since day one, we've been putting in the hard work and waiting for this moment. And tonight, I just felt open shots.
You had a difficult defensive assignment tonight, guarding Paige Beckers. How were you able to lock in and slow her down?
I knew I had to use
Holly,
my
ask
speed to
if
make
she's
sure I
coming
stay
back
with
for
her.
one more year.
I think that's what we've been practicing all along. And the first time we played them, that really worked out well for us. So I knew to come into this game, I had to bring the same momentum.
You told me today you've had a tough upbringing and it's an overcoming type of moment for you that tonight could change your life. How do you hope that manifests itself?
I just stayed positive. My teammates believed in me once again. We've been working so hard since day one, and it finally paid off. All my hard work, all my focus, me trusting the process, me trusting Dawn. She just put me in a position just to be great, and today we national champions.
I know you've got your own clothing line. The tagline seems perfect for this moment right now. What is it, Henny?
Anything is possible, baby. Make sure y'all go shop. Clothingbyhp.com. Yes, sir.
Anything is possible. Thank you so much, Destiny.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
These
yes,
kids,
sir.
These kids are getting paid.
Go hit that shop. That's funny. Good for her.
Absolutely.
It's a big moment.
Absolutely.
Dang. That's just like a happy face. Ah, it's the best moment. That's the best moment. It's the best moment. Taking it all in.
This is a great moment for these kids. They'll remember this forever.
Forever.
You know, they're always going to be known as that team that beat Connecticut, that from day one was the best team in the country and proved it, like you said earlier, every single day. And what Dawn has done there, I've said it a lot of times, but it's just impressive. It's the new wave, the new era of this new generation, and Dawn has a stronghold on it right now.
She does. She does. I mean, you could sit here and talk about all the hard times I'm sure she's been through to build the program, to get to this point.
And here she is, enjoying another national championship game. And, you know, it's not going to be popular on the UConn side for me to say this, but now she's the only coach who's undefeated in national championship games.
The math doesn't lie. The math doesn't lie.
It is what it is. All right, well, we've had an amazing time just sitting here, chatting it up. We'll cheers it one more time. I think they have a best of waiting for us. I'm a little nervous.
BTS.
I'm a little nervous, but y'all can check it out and let us know how it is. You ready?
Let's do it.
Comfortable? Again?
Salud.
Back at it again. Let's go. We needed some balance, so we brought you in.
Well, that's a big mistake.
Well, my heart says the Huskies, my wallet says the Gamecocks.
Hey, Dawn, I like the green. I see you.
Green for the money.
I like the green.
Gold for the honeys.
We like to look rich.
Draymond's still mad he didn't make it. He didn't make the cut.
If it wasn't for G32, I would have jumped overboard and probably drowned in the water outside the Queen Mary.
I lost J Kid's money. He mentioned it.
I'm like, where's all this money coming from?
It's a game of inches. Ask the Cox.
Do you take those inches?
Absolutely. When you're on the court. I was pounding beers and cheeseburgers in college. Baby fat ballers.
Hold that thought, Bill. We're going to break, and we'll be right back.
Where we gotta go? Where's Snoop Dogg?
2002 National Championship game. I was playing like absolute dookie.
What do you want me to say? UConn sucked.
On cue.
Oh, she just pulled out the... Oh, she thought about it. And then she probably thought about Dawn.
Doris, look at us now.
Look at us now.
You're doing primetime ABC. We have a show. Life is good.
Amazing. Congratulations to South Carolina. It's been amazing to watch you throughout the entire season. Now you get to raise that trophy and be the champions that you are. From me and Dee, the Bird and Taurasi show, we're always going to ask one question, and that question is, what's in your cup?
Henny in the cup tonight.